Hi everybody, I'm Fanny Curzon. I'm happy that you're here. The Marriage Reset Podcast welcomes you. Episode 4, Resentment and the Emotional Load, the quiet weight that breaks connection. That's our topic today. Welcome back to the Marriage Reset Podcast. So far in this series, we've talked about when a marriage needs a reset while couples stay stuck in conflict cycles and the role emotional safety plays in connection. Today, we're talking about something quieter but just as destructive: resentment. Resentment doesn't announce itself, it just accumulates. It doesn't explode, it just settles. And often it grows out of something many couples struggle to name: the emotional overload. This is the episode where many people feel deeply seen because resentment isn't about anger, it's about unmet needs carried along for too long. As always, this podcast is for educational and relational insight, not therapy or individualized treatment. I'll be sharing clinical perspectives and composite examples. Please take care of yourself as you listen. Let's begin. What resentment really is. Resentment is often misunderstood. People think resentment looks like anger, complaining, nagging. But clinically, resentment is more subtle. Resentment is chronic disappointment, unacknowledged effort, feeling taken for granted, given more than feels fair. It sounds like I shouldn't have to ask. Or if I don't do it, it won't get done. No one notices what I carry. And here's the truth. Resentment usually grows in responsible, capable partners, not careless ones. So where does the resentment come from? Let's talk about the emotional load, because this is the soil resentment grows in. What is the emotional load? The emotional load is the invisible labor of anticipating needs, managing emotions, remembering details, holding mental lists, carrying responsibility for outcomes. It's not just doing things, it's thinking about them constantly. Examples are remembering appointments, tracking emotional shifts in the household, managing conflict avoidance, holding the family's emotional temperature. And here's the key point. The emotional load is heavy even when no one asks you to carry it. That's the clincher. Here's a real life composite example. Example 1, the overfunctioning partner. One partner becomes the planner, the reminder, the fixer. They say things like, I don't mind doing it, really. But underneath is exhaustion, because over time, helping turns into carrying. Example 2, the underfunctioning partner. The other partner may not even realize the load exists. They think, just tell me what you need. But that statement alone reveals the imbalance. Because the one carrying the load doesn't want to assign tasks, they want shared responsibility. Example 3, emotional load in conflict. One partner monitors tone, timing, and emotional fallout. The other reacts freely. That imbalance creates quiet resentment. Now let's pause and step into the therapist's chair, because resentment rarely shows up directly in session. From the therapist's chair, we see that when resentment is present, I listen for 1, sarcasm, flat affect, emotional withdrawal, statements that start with I always or I never. I also notice who remembers details, who initiates repair, who carries responsibility for their relationship. I often say, it sounds like one of you is carrying the relationship and the other one doesn't realize how heavy that feels. Resentment softens when it's named without accusation. And that's the key, to name resentment without accusation, without pointing the finger and blaming your partner. So how do couples release resentment without turning it into blame? That's a good question. That's where reset work matters. How a marriage reset addresses resentment. A reset helps couples, 1, name the invisible labor without blaming or shaming. 2, redistribute responsibility emotionally and practically. 3, create appreciation rituals. Being seen heals resentment. 4, slow down expectations. Not everything needs to be perfect. Resentment doesn't disappear when things become equal. It disappears when things become acknowledged. If today's episode resonated, and if you realize how tired you've been or how much you've been carrying quietly, I want you to hear this. Resentment is not a character flaw. It's a signal. A signal that something needs attention, not blame. I offer a marriage reset intensive for couples who feel overwhelmed by emotional load, resentment, or disconnection, and want clarity, balance, and reconnection. You can learn more through the link in the show notes. In our next episode, we'll talk about what a marriage reset actually looks like and what it is not. Because healing doesn't come from trying harder, it comes from resetting what's no longer sustainable. Thanks for being here. Remember, resentment is heavy. You don't have to carry it alone.